Mars in conjunct Pluto just takes it another day. It takes it another day to unravel and unwind. Also going on today is this new moon at 11 degrees of Virgo. So let me pull up the chart for that. The new moon appears in the practical sign Virgo, with the new moon's ruling planet, Mercury, in mutual reception with the sun, okay? The creative, vitalizing, illuminating force of the sun lights up our minds, our creative minds. Awesome. So we've got some real synergy that's possible here with this new moon. Important information can show up and details can fall right into place. There is important emotional work that needs to happen during this lunar cycle with the new moon opposing Saturn in Pisces. Emotional work. Some grounded Saturnian energy may be welcome, however, after the disruption and instability that we saw around that previous full moon that squared Uranus and was all full of just energy. And you guys probably had stuff going on in your own life too. I just hear so much about what happened around that full moon 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Listen for messages about business, responsibility, formalities, and other Saturnian matters, because Saturn plays a role in the upcoming full moon eclipse as well. All right. So as of the new moon today, we move into the first quarter of the lunar cycle. So this is a real shift from where we've been. The fourth quarter of the lunar cycle, where we're coming from, is where we're kind of clearing the decks and we're tidying and we're clearing out space for this new cycle to come in. So now we're in the first quarter, which is a time to gather resources and look ahead. Ask your questions, do your divination, maybe do an interview, and gather your data and information, which is what Stephen's doing, what a lot of us are doing right now, getting ready for something to happen that we want to happen. Okay, so time for preparation, planning, set your schedule, initiate new things, set and check in with your goals and intentions. You maybe get out your business plan and review it. September 2 to 4. Okay, so today and for the next couple of days, we're dealing with Mars in conjunct Pluto. During this time, you may see one or more examples of an unbalanced Mars in Gemini expression. Let me go back to the calendar so we can really see this. Okay, so here's Mars in conjunct Pluto. And I'm going to share a different thing here. We'll just try this, and y'all let me know how you like this weekly calendar option here. So here's Mars square Neptune. This is a 24-hour day here on this calendar. I just put the whole day on there so we're not missing anything. So we've got Mars square Neptune in the wee hours when most of us here in the States are sleeping, or at least on our way. And so you can see Mars square Neptune here, and then Mars in conjunct Pluto a little more than a day later. So that's what we're dealing with. And then Mars is going to enter Cancer right after that. So what we're dealing with these Mars aspects is a lot of endings, because all these aspects are perfecting when the planets are at the end of their signs. And so you may be dealing with something that is ending or something that you're working towards letting go of or resolving and moving on to something new. So anyway, unbalanced Mars in Gemini expression up to the time that this is exact for a few days prior as well. So we're really in it right now. Being scattered, unbalanced Gemini is scattered, gossips, distracted by every squirrel that runs by, sharp tongue, oversharing, saying too much. And with that, Mars and Gemini stressed by Pluto, influenced by Pluto, there's also an underpinning of trauma, especially childhood trauma. Life and death kinds of situations, either they're in your life now or you're thinking about them, or that's what you're ruminating over. Maybe you're anxious about it. You might be feeling the effects of manipulation from another. You may be dealing with allergens or toxins or both. The tension of the inconjunct calls for balance and a transformation into a more positive expression, like a healthy mind. Being in control of yourself instead of attempting to command or control others. And you're in touch with your deepest desires and motivations. Okay, so even if your conscious mind goes, I'm not supposed to want that, your unconscious mind still wants what it wants. And so the more that you can be aware of that, you've got more authority over your own self, right? So you're not trying to control others. You're in control of your own self. Yay. Okay. So we've got Mars in conjunct Pluto, and we've also got Venus conjunct the South Node. This is going to reach its peak on Wednesday, okay? Because the energy is strongest before the aspect is exact.